Huh. Crown Vic.
Louder.
So I come to the shop and David's already ripping shit apart.
Somebody's got to do the work.
Yeah, somebody's got to get something done. So we're trying to take off the front in order to figure out what we're doing for an intercooler. I think in order to get this off, we actually have to like move the fender over because there's like some clips in there, like some little nubs.
Turn that off. Why are you cutting that off? There's a V-band on there. What the fuck?
It's fucking gay, man.
It's a V-band.
Fucking gay one.
What is it?
It's a fucking power stroke V-band.
So?
That like you can't get a flat for.
Really?
Watch, check.
I like this right here, watch.
Oh, fuck.
Oh yeah.
Oh, don't do it. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Well, it needs to like go up.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna weld it to the housing?
Yeah, we're gonna weld that shit.
Well, it was,
Cutting it changed the whole fucking geometry of the thing.
it changed the whole program.
Trevor,
Changed the whole game.
Trevor cocked it when he cut it.
Oh yeah. Because that isn't just the most premium cut you've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Well, if we just fill in all this weld right
Or
there.
you could just cut it at an angle too.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, cut the
you
charge
cut-
pipe
Hey,
to match
let's do
it.
this. Hey, move your hand
Or
a
we
little
could
bit.
just weld it right there. Just bam.
Hey,
Done.
just hold this.
Housing the wrong angle.
We just don't have the right pipe yet.
Cut the
Okay,
McDick a little bit too chooch.
That's
like-
all it is.
it was like-
We don't have the right pipe.
A little bit McChooch too much.
Here, hold this pipe.
It'll probably be fine because we'll just come back and edit it. It'll just.
Well, it still needs to like suck up right here.
All right, let me give her a tack.
Give her a tack.
Alright. Try this thing.
We stuck it together. No, what you kind of have to do is because as soon as it kind of looks like it wants to get shiny, you just throw metal in it. Throw it at it.
Here, I'll hold it right there and do it. Good?
Yeah, it's gonna. All right, so we just got done kind of giving this stuff some tacks. I guess we'll kind of show you how it. So there, over there, basically this aluminum piece. There's a little bit of a gap, but it seems like I'm able to fill up the aluminum fairly easy, kind of with gaps and shit. So these might not be the prettiest welds that I'm ever gonna do on aluminum, but they're definitely the first ones that I'm are actually gonna be put to use. Alright, so this was pretty much the, I don't know, kind of the first time I've ever actually TIG welded on something that mattered. I pretty much only did about two pipes the other day. I did beads around them and was just kind of testing some shit. But yeah, so there was a decent sized hole right there that I welded up. A couple of these things I went back and there's like some crowns on them where it didn't look like they penetrated because I was moving too fast. But I got them all welded up and did a little kind of a cover deal over that guy just because there was a couple spots that looked kind of porous towards the casting, and I probably could go around the whole thing again and make it look pretty, but I figure I'll just leave it right there, show you guys at least kind of what it looks like. That's kind of looks like a damn elephant trunk is what it looks like. So instead of like a snail, it's like a turbo elephant maybe. I don't know. David, what are you doing?
Just look at your inky deck.
What kind of inky dick is there?
Right there.
What is it? Oh wow, inky. So anyhow, we got this whole elephant trunk all hooked up in there. it doesn't look too bad. So, but yeah, basically just need to figure out some piping, but we don't, this is, up till now, we're still at the, I haven't bought anything or haven't bought much for this stuff. I had, you know, had to buy some fittings and stuff for that, but we're still on pretty much everything that I had laying around, but we don't have enough pipe to actually get it up here. So what we're gonna focus on right now is trying to mount the intercooler up there is the plan. So yeah, now I'm gonna start trying to mess with this, the front end of it, trying to get the intercooler mounted. This is one we're gonna be using. I was thinking about using that, like I said, that 7.3 Power Stroke intercooler, but way too damn big. But yeah, so I'm kind of running out of all the pipes that we have laying around, trying to figure out what would actually work. Over here, this is a, I don't even know what the hell I got this with. It was in like the trunk of a car or some shit, but look at this. So that kind of goes right there. And then it has a mass airflow sensor port on it already, but it's in the bend of the corner. So technically I probably could use it just temporarily, just to like start it and see how it actually runs and stuff. But I would have to cut off this end right here and basically come straight out. So the plan is to cut this out right there, basically or right here on this side, and sneak the intercooler piping up right there, and then kind of feed it back through over here, set the intercooler kind of right in there is the plan so far. So I'm gonna start messing with it a little bit more. Oh, holy shit. So I was looking at the back of this thing. I was initially going to cut it down a little bit lower, like I was going to cut this lower piece right here. This is the steel, and I was going to set the intercooler down there. This is the wiring harness. I went ahead and I pulled that forward in front of this. So yeah, I was going to cut it and set it down, and then I was kind of looking at it over here, and it looks like I'm going to have enough room. So see this little pipe right here, this is basically what's going to happen, is we're going to run the intercooler. I took out the fender well, run it straight over here, kind of like above here, right down there, and then I'm going to use this little pipe right here, go right here. You can see that, it gets damn close to the pipe right there. So basically I'm just going to have to cut this little sliver off right there, and it should fit. So this front piece is like kind of this fiberglass plastic shit. I don't know, it's dusty, so I went ahead and I put on my mask and everything to do it. It's probably, the dust is probably settled enough, but yeah, I didn't want to be breathing that shit. But so yeah, I initially, like right here, the hood wouldn't close because this thing kind of sits down in there, so it was kind of touching right there. So I went ahead, I cut that, so I'm going to be able to lean the intercooler forward. Should be able to still hook up this factory hood latch. Maybe I have to modify it a little bit, but yeah, should be able to hook up the factory hood latch, and yeah, I'll have the factory hood latch in there, which will be nice. So yeah, that's kind of the plan so far. Probably just have to bend that thing up a little bit, as long as it gives me a little bit of room. But yeah, it's damn close to working right there. But yeah, and then over here, just cut a little sliver out of that section, and then start cutting right here to actually get the piping to go through and up there. And then, so I'm pretty pumped about, take my mask off now. Cut some more stuff on it. I cut this little piece down there so you could see I got a clear path to the intercooler. On this side, I went ahead and put the piece of pipe in there. Got it all hooked up with a coupler, and you can see right here, it goes down right there. So might try to get a little bit tighter of a bend to kind of go around a little bit closer to the frame right there. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the little amount of effort that took to get it right there. And I was kind of thinking about dropping it down and kind of hanging it below here, but that's pretty much right behind like the license plate. I wouldn't really get any fresh air to the intercooler, and there's no point in doing that if it doesn't get no fresh air. So looks kind of cool. kind of hidden behind the grill like that too. So tomorrow I got to do a little bit of running around, and I might be able to stop somewhere that sells some intercooler piping locally, pick up a kind of a universal kit, and try to get the rest of this thing kind of going. So I got the front end piece back off it again, or the little grill nose. So I kind of grabbed, damn it, like every time I grab something. But so I got this little piece right here. This isn't what I'm going to be using. This is going to be like a 2.5 inch to a 3 inch probably. So I need to get one of those, but you can kind of see that's the general area, and I figure it's going to be kind of angled a little bit. So I'm going to have to cut out this section right here, and then if you see here on the back, Alright, so you can see I got that nice little hole kind of cut. I feel like I need to kind of make it a little bit bigger. On account of it's probably going to have a little bit bigger of, you know, I'm going to do probably 3 inch. I'm going to try to do 2.5 to 3 inch and then stay 3 inch, basically from the intercooler all the way up to the throttle body. This is a plan, but, you know, kind of depends on what I end up having laying around or what I'm able to find tomorrow. But, yeah, I'll probably have to cut this a little bit wider. I don't really want to get into that washer right there that's kind of holding this whole front piece on. That doesn't really seem like it affected too much over here as far as the structural integrity, and basically all it does is keep the hood down, which I'm not cutting any out of this side. Alright, so I continued cutting a little bit more. So you can see we got a little bit more room right there. That's a 3 inch pipe. That's kind of a pretty tight radius on that little stainless steel kind of downpipe deal. But I was just kind of testing the fitment. So as long as I get some like a 2.5 inch to a 3 inch 90, that's around that same deal. And it doesn't really matter because I could shuffle this whole thing like side to side, and then I'll just have to cut this a little bit, shorten that, bring that in, and then go basically underneath the battery over here and underneath the heater core right there. Could easily be able to sneak a pipe in there. Watch, I'll throw one in there. So yeah, that fits in there fairly decent enough at least. And I'll probably come a little bit over this the strut right there, and I'll just have to cut a little bit out of that plastic liner, or probably a lot out of the plastic liner, but for the most part it should still be in there. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped about this whole thing. I guess I'll throw the headlight like header panel in there again and double check and make sure that I'll be able to fit a 3 inch piece right there. But from what it looks like so far, it looks like I should be able to. So yeah, everything's looking damn good. I moved it forward a little bit, so I should be able to close the hood just fine. I don't want to close it all the way right now because it's a pain in the ass to get back up, but the hood closes fine. This the factory hood latch will kind of fit in there a little bit. And yeah, it looks like we should be good to go. So basically now all we're waiting on is just some extra piping. Alright guys, so I'm just kind of messing with another chunk of intercooler piping. David kind of cut a lot of this stuff, and he kind of got them welded a little bit, and I kind of did some covered passes over them and welded, you know, a couple of these things myself. But getting a little bit better with the TIG welder, trying to make them a little bit prettier. They're not all the greatest things, but they're stuck together, and I think they'll hold air, so that's good. Basically, kind of doing this stuff, you know, if you get it kind of ugly, you just kind of go back over it a little bit and try to make it a little bit prettier. So I did that on it to try to make it look a little bit better, and it seemed like it helped. Any guys who ever have any questions about like welding or anything like that, Jody with Welding Tips and Tricks on YouTube, holy shit, that is like the best thing like ever. I was kind of having some issues with the settings, trying to figure out what I really liked on here, and so I just sat there on my phone and watched like, you know, 20-30 minutes of his videos on you know, TIG welding aluminum, and figured out a lot of stuff with that, and then went over here and kind of started messing with it, and they started turning out a lot better after I watched that. And a lot of it had to do with the settings and then basically just kind of controlling the puddle and watching it is a lot of the deal. Some of the issue I've been having with the actual welding process is actually just like my body position, trying to get around the weld in the best spot without stopping. So there's a lot of start and stops in here, but that's pretty much the whole point of this this project, is to actually like practice with the TIG welder. I mean, make a bunch of random ass pipes with all the shit we have laying around, just like you get good at it. And I mean, you're never gonna get good. I don't think I would ever really sit here and practice like this much on a bunch of random ass tubes. I mean, maybe I would, but yeah, this just gives me a really good excuse to mess with it, and it makes some cool turbo noises too at the same time. So yeah, we're just kind of, well, there's this piece right here. So now that this thing's cooled off just a tad, it's probably still hot. Yeah, it's still kind of hot. So this, I think you guys are gonna like that. So basically it goes like this, and it goes in there, drops down, and basically comes out right here. So that piping, sorry, this light's kind of messing the whole program up, but it goes down there pretty much right next to the exhaust manifold, and basically comes straight out right here. If you get up underneath here, see we have that pipe right there and this one right here. So we need to get those to kind of mate up together. We're gonna do that with a piece of you know, an actual coupler, probably coupler here, coupler there. Maybe extend this out a little bit, this piece out actually, so it's only one coupler instead of two. There's too many couplers, you know, that's not good. All right, back at the shop today. You guys will see more of this stuff in the next video, but David went and got some pea.
It's delicious.
What a sicko. But anyhow, I went to Lowe's and I got me this little piece of aluminum, like overpressed shit, and then this piece of like galvanized looking steel shit. And so basically I'm gonna use this for like the intercooler. I'm gonna just basically bolt it and then bend it down and make like a little ghetto bracket. But that should work pretty good for that. And then I'm going to use this this little aluminum stuff right here for when we go over the strut tower. I'm gonna make like a little brace off of the side, something similar to what that used to be, but probably more similar to something like that. So I'm basically gonna make.
I'm gonna cut that off and weld it so fucking bolt it on top.
Well, I was gonna make something like that so that I could bolt it, and it actually, so it ain't gonna be like rubbing on shit. I also got this, I've had this blow-off valve laying around. I ordered this little pipe right here with the flange already welded on. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to use this blow-off valve or another one that I have. But if I do, I'm just going to cut off these ends right here and then end up welding it onto the pipe. What happened to your face?
Shaved it.
Why, you look like you're like 10 years old. You look like you're like 22 now.
22.
Instead of like fucking 36.
36, I wish.
But do you really wish you were 36? All right.
I don't really
So
give a shit.
we ended up getting a universal kind of, well, ordering some like a large 2.5-inch intercooler kit, and some Chinese intercooler piping. But so here's a 3-inch straight, and then here's the 2.5 to a 3-inch. You can see right here. I need to cut that out a little bit more because it's kind of bending in. Over here we were kind of looking. I was looking at this thing. This is like a 45-degree pipe, I think, and it doesn't work. I kind of wanted it to work, but that looked almost kind of nice going across the deal right there. But you guys have already seen David's. Hey, what do you think of those welds?
I don't know.
I went over David's welds, some of David's welds, and made them kind of pretty looking. Almost pretty. They're not actually pretty yet.
I think we should relocate the battery.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Why?
Simplicity. We're just leaving all the shit how it is. It's done. Dope.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, we need to kick all this shit out of the way, and I don't think we'll really need much because we got these 2.5-inch straights, and then we got some other random stuff, some other bends, and so we won't have to do much. Well, we'll just make sure they fit. Alright guys, so we are kind of making some a little bit of progress down here on the charge intercooler, or the intercooler piping coming up to the front. So I got these 2 straight pieces. This is part of the intercooler kit that I picked up, that you know, large universal. So I got it kind of tied up here a little bit. This is going to be welded right here, but I just kind of have it hose clamp, or have it clamped, and then I have this clamped just for kind of testing. Right over here on these pipes, this is kind of what I'm using for the front. This is going out of the intercooler on that side over there, and this is basically hooking up to that. And this was a basically 180-degree thing, so that'll be pretty much like that. And then I have another little piece hooked on that'll have to add a little bit of length right there, and that'll tie up into actually I have this little piece will be what I have to do. So I got to clean this guy off too. But you can see after you end up cutting, after you end up cutting the metal or the aluminum, there's kind of this shitty, ugly ass looking thing. So you have to clean that off. I've been using the flapper disc and basically just hitting that. I got my battery on the charger though, so I might swap it over to here. But yeah, basically after you got a flapper disc all done, you can kind of see the edge right there. I have that done, and then on the inside it has all this stuff. So I got this this file, and basically just do a lot of this. So yeah, that one's about done. Like I said, that'll pretty much be that'll come out. So I'll put that up in there, get it kind of clamped down on this end of it, and then get it tacked. Get it kind of tack welded all up in the car, and then pull it all down and weld it. So since I've been cutting on these pipes too, basically I'll kind of run a rag through the inside of it, kind of stuff a rag in there. Actually that doesn't have too many shavings on it. Kind of run a rag through there once or twice. I just want to make sure I get all of the crap out of the inside of these things before I weld it, because when I weld it, there's going to be a lot of pipes kind of hooked together in a long channel, so I'm not going to be able to get in there to clean it. I can't run a rag through it as easy as I can now. I also got some acetone. Previously I wasn't like using or wiping down my pieces before I welded them with acetone, so I'm going to try that as well, hopefully get a little bit cleaner weld. Alright guys, so I got that little piece right there, pretty much all made and tacked up. You can see it kind of goes up there to a little deal. But yeah, I got some decent little tacks on it to kind of hold it in place. And so right now I am just working on the section that goes from right here to back there. And that's already up over here on the bench. So you can see right here, basically what I'm doing is I'm holding it up there with my hand, and then just drawing some lines on it with a Sharpie. So I could kind of get it over here in the vise so that I could actually hold it and get a decent tack on it. That right there is my first aluminum weld of the day. I don't know if you guys know a lot about TIG welding versus MIG welding, but basically right here on your torch, I actually ended up getting some different gas lenses too. This is a stubby gas lens, and I'm using a different tungsten as well. But yeah, so watched a lot of videos and then came back, and this was the first weld of the day with that, other than some tack welds. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But back to what I was saying. Basically, on the TIG right here, this is your arc. So your arc just comes out of the tip of the gun, and so once you kind of get a puddle formed, you sit there, and then like once there's like a puddle, you just sit there and kind of dip the rod in it as you go along. So it's pretty cool. It's you get really good penetration with it. You get nice pretty beads if you're able to do it the correct way. But yeah, so I'm gonna throw some tacks on this, throw it up there, make sure everything lines up good, and then pull it down and do some final welding on it. So yeah, I got this aluminum pipe all done. See, there's the first welds of the day. Came over here and started doing some other ones. Those ones look pretty good. So far I had to start and stop a couple times going around the pipe just because the position and everything. But yeah, right there you could tell, and then the coupler goes in between there. It's actually a little bit closer, but. And then I just finished up over here on this guy. This son of a bitch is really hot. ouch. But yeah, let it sit there for a couple seconds. I guess it wasn't enough. Yeah, you can see the welds are starting to look a little bit better. I think the ones on that other pipe were probably a little bit better. This was a little bit harder to get all the way around. I did kind of an ugly looking one right there, and then I kind of went back over it and melted it, made it look a little prettier. Kind of the same thing with this right here. I kind of had an ugly spot right there because there was a little bit of a gap that was trying to do some weird stuff on me. And so yeah, I pretty happy with so far how the whole aluminum TIG welding is going for me. I pretty pumped to actually be able to weld shit. So now I'm gonna stick this in there, and then I'm gonna finish up the rest of the cold side basically after the intercooler. All right, well, if you guys ever want to know a really cool trick, if I could find it. Okay, so here is a pair of crimps. Hold on, let me yank this guy down. Okay, so you see, basically on this side of the pipe, there's a little bead roll right there, which that'll kind of help keep the coupler from sliding off. Kind of gives it a ridge. But this intercooler kit that I got, it didn't have any of those, which I'm kind of glad it didn't, because then you don't have to kind of cut off the ends to waste them when you just want to weld some stuff together. So I'm going to show you guys a pretty cool trick. Basically, these are just some regular old channel lock, made in USA, like wire crimpers. And so what you do is you put the nub so it faces upward, and you stick that basically right there on the end, and you just go around the damn thing like 1,000 times is what you do. So yeah, there we go. We got a nice little bead on there. Slide in the intercooler coupler, and hopefully hold itself on pretty well. So I want to show you guys something that's just absolutely crazy as shit about Colorado. So about an hour ago, maybe an hour and a half ago, there's no snow on the ground. You can see now, come over here, there's probably 1.5 to 2 inches. And what's crazy about it is literally today it was 60 degrees outside. Like I was outside washing a car, like just a long sleeve, pressure wash the car, just no big deal. Middle of December, almost Christmas, and then now it's like 20 or 10 degrees out there, and there's 2 inches of snow within like an hour and a half. It's crazy. So there she is, all tightened up, going over at the top of the deal, back down over here next to the exhaust manifold, all the way to the back, over to the top with this like elephant trunk looking thing, into the turbo. So this is where we're gonna get boost. A couple people asked me like where the boost was, or if I did it just for the sound. I just didn't have it done in the last video, so that's I knew it was gonna be a long process, and I just wanted to hear what the turbo sounded like. So it's gonna sound a hell of a lot better once it's actually moving air and it's using that air to actually make power and then continue to spin the turbo even faster. So it'll sound pretty awesome once we get it done. So now it's on to work on the actual cold side. Alright, so this is, we didn't really have to do a whole lot to this this cold side earlier. We pretty much got it all mocked up in like 10 minutes or so. So I got this 2-inch piece of straight 3-inch. There was this other like cold air intake thing I had laying around that has this like, it's like a 45-degree bend in it. I trimmed off a little bit of that radiator mount right there on the plastic. So you can see I got the 2.5 to the 3-inch. Right here I already drilled a hole for this is an HPX upgraded mass airflow sensor. We'll talk about that in the fueling and tuning video, but for now I got it mounted right here. Or not mounted, but I drilled the hole, and so I'm gonna go ahead and weld that in as well when I weld everything else up. But yeah, basically this little piece right here, it goes right there. That kind of touches it right here. And yeah, there we go. That's pretty much our cold side. So, well, actually, first, before I start cleaning up the pipes, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of mark. I don't really need. So yeah, that pretty much tells me where my tacks need to go, or I'm gonna get it. Basically, put a couple tacks on it, and I want to pull it off, clean it up, put a couple tacks on it, throw it back on, make sure it's exactly where I need it to be. Don't need to like rub off the tacks and align it a little bit different. So yeah, I'm gonna yank this off, pull out this kind of expensive mass airflow sensor, set this guy over here for a second, get some tacks on these guys. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. I got it tacked. First time I tacked it, it didn't hold. These things are a pain in the ass to tack, like these aluminum pieces, because you can't use magnets or anything like that. I don't have anybody here to hold anything, so I'm just kind of like, I taped them together and did some stuff like that. That seemed like it kind of worked, but yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and yank it off and do the finished welds on it. Double check, and that looks good. That looks like the good spot where I want to be, so it should be good. So just got that all welded up. That looks pretty good on the bottom side where it doesn't matter. The top side where everybody's gonna see, that doesn't look terrible, but it's not as pretty as the bottom side. At the bottom I kind of figured it out a little bit more. I need a little bit more amperage. When I was welding like all this stuff, I was around 80 amps. Turned up to 90, but it wasn't quite hot enough. Aluminum's kind of weird, especially when you're going to a thicker piece like this to a pipe that was already hot from welding this stuff. So the pipe was pretty warm, so the pipe would melt, but this wouldn't necessarily melt right away, and then you'd end up trying to blow a hole in the pipe, and then this thing still wasn't melted. So I finally kind of got it kind of warm enough at the end, and then that's when we got that decent little bead down there at the bottom. But yeah, so I got the pipe all blown out. I'm gonna pull this off and do the little trick to the end of it with the little hump, and then throw it back in the car. All right, so now time to test fit this guy again. Yeah, so far so good. That still works. This thing's in here. It's only barely touching a little bit of the shit, so I think we're good. I've located the stock mass airflow sensor, the factory one, and I'm plugging it back in. You can see it's pretty much in like the factory exact location. It's got a nice straight piece of pipe leading up to it, so we shouldn't really have any issues with that, hopefully. So yeah, now I guess I'll start this thing. Start it up, maybe. This was disconnected. This is that scavenge pump. Alright, I don't think I have anything else stupid disconnected, so. If it wasn't snowing outside, I'd take this thing for a rip. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm going to end it for this part 4 of the Crown Vic turbo build. If you guys have any questions about the whole rear mount turbo setup, I know a lot of people were telling me that it's going to have a lot of turbo lag, which it might. I feel like this turbo sizing is fairly correct, should be decent for it. So it's a GTP38 Power Stroke turbo. It has a 0.84 AR exhaust housing. Normally on a V8 you have like a 0.96. So we do have some extra piping and some other stuff, but from what I've seen and heard and read from people online about like STS turbo kits, because they actually make like rear mount kits, like do-it-yourself kits, is that they don't have that bad of turbo lag. Thanks to all you guys ordering the stickers. I sold out of all my 3-inch ones. I will have those back in stock probably within a week or so. So thank you guys for ordering those. I still have the 6-inch ones. I went ahead and I updated all the totals, the stock on the website. So if you guys want to go and order 6-inch sticker, those will be on there. I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel that way. But yeah, so next video should be mounting a blow-off valve. I'll probably put the blow-off valve over here. As long as I could get the splash guard back in there enough to where it's not going to get splashed, and as well as installing injectors and talking about some tuning stuff. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, this little update on this thing, and let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. So yeah, if you guys want to be instantly notified when I upload a video of this thing, if you go to your YouTube subscriptions on your phone, if you scroll up to like the subscribe button, there's a little bell next to it. I know a lot of people were having issues with people being subscribed and unsubscribed and doing some other stuff. I watched another video saying that YouTube might have just accidentally like changed the button, so they're still subscribed, but it looks like they're unsubscribed. So then when they click subscribe again, it like unsubscribes them. I'm not sure what the hell's going on with YouTube right now. But if you hit that little bell right next to the subscribe button, you'll get a little notification every time I update a little thing on here. I do some updates on my Snapchat throughout the week and kind of keep a lot of people up to date on that. So if you want to do that, it's Motion Auto TV. But yeah, should be some updates on this thing coming soon.